What's up, Cowboy Nation and Cowboy Headquarters? Cowboys win, Cowboys win, Cowboys win. And here we are with another win under our belt. Now, I know some of you guys saying, yes, it was a great win. We needed that win. We're still trying to get to the playoff. And then there's some of us saying, what are we doing? We need to just go ahead and lose so we can get a good draft pick. So here we are. We're caught between the two. Do we win? Do we lose? But I truly say I don't think you play to lose. I don't think these guys know how to play to lose. These guys that's on the field, they want to win. So, but here we are. We get another win under our belt, and we move on to next week. And so much for the prime time. Personally, I say that this would have been a great prime time game. Even though the NFL pushed us back to 12 o'clock, I'm sure NFL is kicking themselves now like, dang, we should have probably kept them at the 7:20 game, at the prime time game. But it is what it is. I know this is a late video. I'm not going to hold you guys long. I'm going to go through this pretty quick. Been hanging out with my brother. He's a 49er fan, so he invited me over to his house over there with all the 49ers fans. But we had a couple of Cowboy guys there as well, so I had some backup. Hey, better be glad I didn't call it headquarters, because I would have called it headquarters. Boy, look at here, we would have turned that place out. But I let them make it, and we all know that this was a desperation game. Desperation game for both teams. Both teams have pretty much depleted on both sides of the ball and not playing their best football right now. But like I said again, we're all on the same playing field, so there's nothing to complain about. You just got to play with the men that you have, and that's what we did. So with Washington losing today, that actually put us one game behind to being in first place. That's where we are. So we're one game behind with Washington losing, and I think I don't know what the score is right now with the Eagles and the Cardinals, but the last time I checked, it was Cardinals was up, I think 26-21. So which we have the Eagles next week. So it's so the NFC East has become interesting now. We got a whole new ball game going on here now. So seemed like the NFC East is starting to pick up in the latter part of the season, which now it makes it more competitive. So like I said, I don't know which one we want to do. Do we want to win? Do we want to lose? But like I said, those guys are not out there to lose. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to talk about a couple of bright spots that I saw, and a couple of on our offense, and a couple of bright spots I saw on our defense. And first of all, on our bright spot on our offense was Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard, I mean, he actually showcased his talent today, which he hadn't always had a chance to, be a starter due to the fact playing behind Zeke. But because of Zeke's injury, his calf injury, he had that opportunity today, and he did really good. He did really well. He scored 2 touchdowns. Matter of fact, he had 12 carries for 69 yards and 2 TDs. And then they brought in Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle is a rookie from South Carolina, which he did pretty good as well. So it was a great time for these guys to get out there and showcase their talent, in which they did. Both looked really well. They looked really good out there on the field. So also, I want to give a big ups to CD Lamb. CD Lamb made a crucial catch that he kind of it dazed him a little bit, but CD Lamb stepped up big for us today. With his play, you can't ask no more from CD, because he's going to try, and it just makes you wonder if Dak was playing. I mean, I'm sure that CD would probably be the rookie of the year, along with this Jefferson kid from Minnesota. But also a big up to Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup's got a touchdown pass. I think Michael Gallup's kind of got injured later on in the game, but I have to check on that. But so yeah, these are some of the bright spots that I saw with Dallas today. The play calling in the first series. I mean, we put a couple of new wrinkles in our offense. I didn't know if Kellen Moore was calling the plays or if it was Mike McCarthy, but we jumped out 14-point lead in the first quarter, which was great. Seeing that in the first quarter. But again, this was a game of desperation for both teams, but maybe we were just a better team today, which I thought we were. What else went on? Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz did really, really well at his tight end play, but not only him, but Blake Bell as well. Blake Bell came in and got up under center, got the first down. So we utilized our tight ends a lot more in this game, which was good to see. What else did I put down here? So again, we know that Zeke was nursing his calf injury. So What does this do for Tony Gallup? I mean, not Tony Gallup, Tony Pollard. Yeah, but Tony Pollard. So what does this do for Tony Pollard? We don't know. Does this mean he gets more playing time the rest of the season? Does this mean that we play him to see if we can trade him for draft picks? Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just throwing that out there. Let me say this. We can't trade Zeke. There's no way we can trade Zeke. Zeke has a big price tag on him, and no one is going to touch that. So we know Zeke is going to be here. But just think about this. You know, you could use Tony Pollard as trade bait to get some draft picks. Like I said, there's several teams out there that could use Tony Pollard, which I would love to keep Tony Pollard as well. But it makes sense. On a business side. Football side, no, we want to keep Tony Pollard. But we limit his play, you know. And I understand you probably say, well, let's use both of them. But, man, Tony needs to be starting somewhere. He really does. But that's just my opinion. So some of the dark sides of our offense was basically our play calling fell off. It's like late in the second quarter, our play calling kind of fell off, which I told you guys, you know, I think we should have kept sticking to the screen passes and, you know, the quick outs and the quick slants. We kind of got away from that. We kind of kept trying to go downfield a few times, which I knew that our offensive line were going to be able to hold up. And then, sure enough, the defensive coordinator from the 49'ERS caught on and saw that we wasn't that experienced on the front line. So what they started doing a lot of stunts, run blitzes, and it's kind of threw us off. And I knew that was going to happen. I said that in the last video because I knew that our front line was not that experienced. So the defensive coordinator from 49'ERS kind of started running a couple of stunts where when I said stump is if you start right here, this guy might swing this way on the front line. Then you had the other guy stunting across this way, you know. And then you have a delayed blitz. It's like a linebacker sits here. Once the ball snapped, then he comes on a blitz. Well, you know, people don't understand what the stunts and run delayed blitzes are. But that's what that is, and that's what they started doing, which it kind of affected our offense. It really did. It hurt us a little bit. So, yeah, we had to fight through that, and that kind of hurt us a little bit, which we didn't prepare. We didn't prepare, which we should be preparing for those type of games. You know, and this is the problem I have is our preparations. Also, I said in the last video, I thought for sure that we was going to target Richard Sherman, which we didn't do. I don't understand why we didn't do that. I thought we should at least target Richard Sherman a lot more with Gallup and CeeDee Lamb on the same side that he played on. But this is Kellen Moore and his play calling. So, yeah, like I say, we put up 40 points, but I was still a little skeptical. But so, yeah, those are some of my dark sides, dark points or dark spots with our offense. But overall, we pulled it off, and you know we was able to overcome the different schemes and schematics that they was trying to throw at us. So on our defensive side of the ball, the bright spots that I saw was the pressure by the D-line. Remember I had mentioned, I said in the last video, I said what we need to do, we need to have all 4 pass rushers out there, in which we did a few times. We had a few series where we had DeMarcus Lawrence, Crawford, Alden Smith, and Randy Gregory out there at the same time. In which, man, it was really, really effective. It was really effective. We actually ran the 4-3, I think, a few times with Sean Lee and Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith. It was working. It was working. So that was a bright spot that I saw. Also, Gallimore. Gallimore should have been starting since day one, but we know we had Dattaria Poe, so we couldn't use Gallimore at the time, but we brought him in. So I give Gallimore this new nickname. I call this guy the meat market because that's a lot of weight moving and pushing folks around. And Gallimore, man, when I say he stepped up to the plate, he stepped up to the plate. So that's my new nickname for Gallimore, meat market. That's his name because, man, that's a lot of meat moving around out there, and he making plays. Another bright spot that I saw was Jordan Lewis. Jordan Lewis was balling. Man, he was lights out today. He was balling today. Jordan Lewis was playing his butt off. So I think Jordan Lewis knows what's at stake. So he's trying to make his push to be able to stay on his team for a while. And also Donovan Wilson. which I've always said Donovan Wilson. I kept saying when Rashad was here, give Donovan Wilson a chance. The guy come from Texas A&M, not too great at covering, but he can play. We know that this guy can play. So, these two guys actually stood out on our defensive side of the ball, man, and big ups to them and all their hard play, and the same thing with the front line with those 4 pass rushers doing their job. DeMarcus Lawrence, bringing pressure. So overall, it was great to see that happen. So the dark side I witnessed with our defense is we went right back to that. People call it 3-4. I call it a 4-2-5. They call it a 3-4, but it doesn't look like a 3-4 to me. But as you may, but you still are trying to get pass rushers to drop back in coverage, which I think that hurt us. And if after a while they start noticing that the run game was really effective, so they started using Mostert. Mostert was gashing us pretty good, and then they came in with I think this guy named Wilson Jr. or somebody, he was really gashing us as well. But I still feel that this hurts us. Even up down on the goal line, we still run the same defense, and it just kind of concerns me that we don't have a goal line package. We don't have a goal line package. We keep that same defensive scheme out there in the red zone, or on the goal line rather, and I don't understand why we do that. But then again, we're talking about Mike Nolan. This is just this is the way he coach, and he's not willing to change anything with that. So also a dark side was we saw Leighton Vander Esch go down along with Antoine Woods. Both of those guys went down. Hopefully there's nothing serious. Hopefully it's something minor that they could nurse and be ready for next week. But overall, we pulled the win off today. And, hey, man, I'll take it. So the final score was 41-33. And they only got the 33 points, at the end of the game. They threw a Hail Mary, and the guy came down with the ball. So, but again, overall, the game of desperation goes to the Dallas Cowboys, and we have the Philadelphia Eagles next week. So tune in to the Wednesday. We're going to break down that game also. We're going to see what we need to do in order to pull off this win. And once again, I understand some of us want the tank and some of us want to, get the good, a good draft pick. But these guys are not going to play to lose. They're not going to do it. It's just not going to happen. But you guys stay tuned. Come Wednesday, we're going to do the Wednesday strategy for game time for Sunday. So you guys stay tuned, and we'll break it down then. Deuces.